सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां साधन ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्ण संकर्षण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम्स.
Hari Hari Venkatramana Prabhu Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Sankarshan Nitai Prabhu, and he will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto 10th chapter and text 10. Over to you Prabhu ji. Hare Krishna.
Very well, thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So please accept my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas assembled here. So we will get started. Let me share the screen, Prabhu. Is my audio and video visible? Is it okay, Prabhu?
Yes Prabhu ji.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. So let me know, Prabhu. I am sharing the verse. Is it visible?
Yes Prabhu ji.
Right, Prabhu. Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 10th chapter, verse number 10. स्थौल्यं कार्श्यं व्याधय आधयश्च क्षुत्रुद्भयं कलिरिच्छा जरा च निद्रारतिर्मन्युरहं मदः शुचो देहेन जातस्य हिमेन सन्ति स्थौल्यं कार्श्यं व्याधय आधयश्च क्षुत्रुद्भयं कलिरिच्छा जरा च निद्रारतिर्मन्युरहं मदः शुचो देहेन जातस्य हिमेन सन्ति स्थौल्यं कार्श्यं व्याधय आधयश्च क्षुत्रुद्भयं कलिरिच्छा जरा च निद्रारतिर्मन्युरहं मदः शुचो देहेन जातस्य हिमेन सन्तिः. So word to word meaning. Staulyam, being very stout and strong. Karshyam, being skinny and weak. Vyadhaya, the pains of the body, such as disease. Adhaya, the pains of the mind. Cha and Kshutrut, Bhayam, hunger, thirst, and fear. Kali, quarrels between two persons. Ichha, desires. Jara, old age. Cha and Nidra, sleep. Ratihi, attachment for sense gratification. Manyuhu, anger. Aham, false identification in the bodily concept of life. Madaha, illusion. Shuchaha, lamentation. Dehena, with his body. Jatasya, of one who has taken birth. He, certainly, may, of me. No, not, Santi, exist. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Fatness, thinness, bodily and mental distress, thirst, hunger, fear, disagreement, desires for material happiness, old age, sleep, attachment for material possessions, anger, lamentation, illusion, and identification of the body with the self are all transformations of the material covering of the spirit soul. A person absorbed in the material bodily consumption is affected by these things. But I am free from all bodily consumptions. Consequently, I am neither fat nor skinny nor anything else you have mentioned. Purport. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Deha Smriti Nahi Yara Samsara Bandhana Kahatara. One who is spiritually advanced has no connection with the body or with the bodily actions and reactions. When one comes to understand that he is not the body and therefore is neither fat nor skinny, one attains the topmost form of spiritual realization. When one is not spiritually realized, the bodily conception entangles one in the material world. At the present moment, all human society is laboring under the bodily conception. Therefore, in the Shastras, people in this age are referred to as Dvipada Pashu, two-legged animals. No one can be happy in a civilization conducted by such animals. Our Krishna consciousness movement is trying to raise fallen human society to the status of the spiritual understanding. It is not possible for everyone to become immediately self realized like Jada Bharata. However, as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, 18th verse, Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. By spreading the Bhagavata principles, we can raise human society to the platform of perfection. When one is not affected by the bodily conceptions, one can advance to the Lord's devotional service. नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. The more we advance our freedom from the bodily conception, the more we are fixed in devotional service and the more we are happy and peaceful. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya says that those who are too materially affected continue the bodily conception. Such persons are concerned with different bodily symptoms, whereas one freed from bodily conceptions lives without the body even in the material condition. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाखया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कथा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्. So Hare Krishna. So I would like to welcome all the devotees for today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. So I would like to seek blessings of each and every one so that this verse is actually very beyond my realization. So I'm still struggling with bodily consciousness, but whatever I heard, I'll try to repeat in this verse so that with all of your blessings, I may be also come to the platform of this. So here, this chapter is basically the context was Jada Bharata. He was carrying the palanquin, but we have seen, but he was such a self-realized soul that he is able to see Paramatma in everybody's heart. So he's on the platform that even the ants, for every 3 to 4 feet, the ants, he's just seeing it, and then he is kind of not making any hurt to them and all. So because of that, the king's palanquin, it was keep on shaking. So the king Rahugana, he uh, he was actually chastising the people. Why are you not doing it properly? Then they said that we are doing fine, but the one who came recently, that is Jada Bharata, who was forcibly engaged. Actually, it is not so. The king thought that he's also like in another Shudra or something like that, another class of low class. But little did he know that this person is actually a Mahabhagavat devotee. So he tried to chastise Jadabharata also. He was telling that he was telling some sarcastic things that oh, you very frail and very weak. Although he's very stout and strong, Jadabharata, he's telling very weak, and he's telling that because of carrying for long time, you must have fatigued. But he just came. Just now he joined the party, so he was telling that like that. So are you dead? Although you seems to be living, but you seems to be dead because you don't know how to carrying all these things. So he was kind of telling very sarcastically all the things. But Jadavarta did not respond. But at one point of time, he felt that he should be responding because you see, Jadabharata, when he was insulted by his stepbrothers and others, he did not open his mouth. He just accepted because he was so conscious that because in his previous life, undue attachment he developed with the deer, and because of that he fall down. So this time he is so very extra cautious that I just should not become any entangled in this thing and all. That is why he completely in a acted like a madman, that nobody should show any respect or any this thing, so that again I will become this, I should not become attached and all. He's extremely cautious. So he didn't open his mouth with his stepbrothers and all the ones who are insulting him. He didn't open his mouth when the dacoits tried to kill him, because he thought it's of no use, because they are in a mode of ignorance, they just cannot take it. But when it comes to Rahugana, he felt that he is, at least in a little elevated consciousness. He's a king actually, and he's going to visit a Muni. He's going to visit one of the ashramas. So he felt that he can able to understand, and then he opened his mouth. So when he opened his mouth, immediately Rahugana could understand that this person is not a ordinary person. He is something extraordinary, because he's speaking with such a conviction and such a realization that he immediately told, "You are telling your master I am servant, but it may be different also in the next life. For this life you may be, but next life it will be something different." And he's telling that, okay, you are telling me that in this translation you say, in the previous one he was telling all these things, that you are very weak and all these things. That time he's telling this thing, see, I am not this body at all. Correct now. So whatever you are telling, there is no contradiction basically. He's telling that you are dead. So if you think that I am the body, I am always dead only because I am not the body. The body is always dead. So only because of the soul, the body moves. Correct. Prabhupada, so the fish, no, not that one. Prabhupada, many times he tells this thing that it is, this body is just like a dress. That we are in the, this body is like a machine or a dress. Bhagavad Gita also the shloka tells, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naropara तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि samyati navani dehe. When the shirt or the cloth it is worn or torn, then one gives up the bond and that takes the new one. Similarly, the body is like that thing, that it's a machine given to us actually. So one is not to be identified with the body, but most of the times what happens, we are, because of the long association with the material nature, one by default it becomes the second nature to identify the body. That is why all these things happens. What is that? I am fat, I am thin, I am this, I am that, I am Indian, I'm American, all these things. So people, sometimes I was telling that if somebody is we were hearing this, if somebody is so much that Indian conscious or Pakistan conscious, if there is a match between India and Pakistan, it is a, like, big euphoria. So much of fever is going on all over, like. So if suppose if somebody probably say Indian, who is so much thinking about Pakistan, and if he dies at that moment, next life he will become a Pakistani only. Correct now, because yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram. So that is how. So Prabhupada tells that these are all like external things, all this bodily designation. And the so amazing thing is, this is the first instruction that Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita. Dehi nosmin yadha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tatra na muhyati. This is the first instruction. And the same instructions we see throughout the Bhagavatam. This is in the fifth canto, and even in the 10th canto also you'll see same, that you are not the body, you are the spirit. So one may wonder, "Arey, why Prabhupada is keep on stressing this thing again and again?" Because this is the root of all the other things also. Because many times it will become like just a theoretical knowledge, because we all know there is a difference between jnana and vijnana. Correct? Jnana is a theoretical knowledge, vijnana is a practical knowledge or a realized knowledge. Like, so the many times it is so much becoming theoretical knowledge, unless one puts the thing into the practice, it will not become. So there is one story I was hearing, that one there was one guru who had a lot of disciples. So he has given banana to all the disciples, and he told them that you all should go to a place where nobody is seeing, and then you should eat that banana, and then you should come back. That is the task the guru has given to the disciples. And all the disciples, they all went different corners, different very private places and all, and then they have actually ate banana, and then everybody came back by the time. So the guru saw everybody has completed the banana except one person. What is that? That one person, he asked, oh, you could not find a place where nobody is seeing? That person told, no, because anywhere I am going, the Paramatma is watching me. Correct. So I cannot, find a place where nobody is watching. So this is called Vijnana. The Jnana means to know that Lord is there and situated in everybody's heart. Lord is there everywhere. But to actually work on that platform is called the Vijnana. So that is the difference. So now this Vijnana, the scriptures tells how one can develop this Vijnana. It is told that tad Vijnanartham saguru meva vigachet. The Mundaka Upanishad or something, it's told, if you really want Vijnana about the Lord, what you should do? You should approach a spiritual master. Tad Vijnanardham sa Guru Meva Abhigachet. Now, how to identify a Guru? Prabhupada tells that that Guru is the one who is having Samit Panim Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Shrotriyam means what? Shrotriyam means he should have heard from his superiors. It is not that, all the while he just sat in meditation and everything is revealed. No. He actually should be having his own guru. The guru is have his own guru, like that. It's a parampara. So if somebody says that I don't have any guru, it is a outright rejection. That he is not of anything. So Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Brahmanishtam means what? He is fixed in Brahman platform. Means he is fixed in the God consciousness. The same kind thing we could see in Bhagavatam also. Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jignasu Shreyamuttamam Shabde Parecha Nishnato Brahmani Upashamashrayam. Bhagavatam tells, Tasmad, therefore, what you should do? Gurum Prapadyeta. One should actually surrender to a guru. For what? For should I surrender to a guru for some any material benefit? Oh guru, I don't have my back pain is coming, all these things. No, one should surrender to a guru for the higher purpose, not for all these things. There is all the material adjustments are there. So Prabhupada tells, don't make your guru as a pet. Somebody who felt that they have so many other things, they have a pet also, so they think, let me add guru also in my life. No, guru is not like that. Guru is one who is who can enlighten for a higher thing and all. So he's telling that Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jignasu Shreyamuttamam Shabde Parecha Nishnato. Who is that Guru? That Guru is the one Shabde Parecha Nishnato. Actually, he is very expert in understanding the conclusions of all scriptures. He may not remember all the verses, he may not quote all the verses, but he is completely conversant with the conclusions of all the scriptures. That Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. He understood that for everything in this world, the root cause is actually Vasudeva. He is completely convinced about it. And he can actually convince others also. Shabde Pareja Nishnato. He is actually so expert that whoever comes with this thing, they can easily be defeated. Just like one person, he was asking Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, see, just like all the rivers, they're all going into the ocean, correct? They're all merging. Once they merge, they lose their identity, correct? So we are like that river, and the ocean is like the God. So we don't have any this one identity after we merge it. Prabhupada immediately told, see, we are not like river merging in the ocean. We are like fish merging in the ocean. So although we may be in the ocean, but we remain, our identity is remain always there, like that. So this is an acharya who is actually who can clearly cut anything, and then he can, because he's so convinced and then he's so realized, he can tell all the intricacies of the scriptures. Although apparently he may not know all the verses, but he is very fixed in all the conclusion. Just like if somebody say that, I was hearing this example from Radhisham Prabhu also. He was telling that, see, if somebody is asked that, okay, where in the Bhagavad Gita tells about you don't watch, you don't, you don't need to watch television. But, what is that? Duradarshan napashyati, something. Is there any statement in the Bhagavad Gita that we should not watch television? If somebody says that, also if somebody is on the Jnana platform, he may be stumbling, he may not know. But if somebody is realized, he can tell the answer. He's telling that. See, that may not be the direct statement tells in Bhagavad Gita. But if you see, there is an another sloka which tells that Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangaste Shubhajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Krodha Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha Smriti Vibhramaha Smriti Bhramsa Buddhinasho Pranashyati. Actually, this sloka tells how a person fall down. Basically, what is the hierarchy of the fall down? So if somebody keeps on contemplating on something, what happens? Jayato Vishyan Pumsa Sangha, the attachment develops. Correct? And this attachment leads to what? Lust. Lust means what? Lust means I want it at any cost. That is the meaning of lust. And it is not that this world is designed in such a way that not everything comes for us immediately. Correct? Even the biggest of the billionaires, whatever they want, also they cannot, they may get some things, but they may not get all the things. So obviously, if the lust is fulfilled, then it becomes greed. If the lust is not fulfilled, then it becomes anger. And anger is such that krodhat bhavati sammoha means what? Sammoha smriti vibhramaha means what? The entire memory is deleted. Just like shift control no, or we just delete it, right? Shift control delete. So like that, so the person whom I may have quarrel, that same person, he would have saved my life, he would have done hundreds and thousands of good things for me. But the anger is such a way that when I'm in this situation, all my memory is lost. I just cannot remember what all good things he has done in my life. Nothing. So that is the nature of anger. And then all the scriptural injunctions, everything, oh, those are all will be, like, you just cannot remember all these things. That is how this happens. And what happens with the anger? Krodhat bhavati sammoha smriti vibramha smriti bhramsha buddhi nasho. Once you don't know what is to be done, what is not to be done, you immediately fall to the material platform like that. So although one may say that I'll watch TV and all, but so much of bad influence is there. The more one watches, obviously these things will happen, and then one actually falls down. So this is the guru or acharya who knows the intricacies of the details, and then who tells it. So now, so one may wonder, because many instances happen like that. Some disciples, they have actually found that why Srila Prabhupada is giving always the basic thing like that. Now even in the 10th canto, which is the summum bonum of the entire spiritual knowledge, in that he is mentioning you are not the body, you are the spirit soul. So some disciples, they felt that, oh, it is too basic, let me find out something else. So they went to some babajis in Vrindavan, and those babajis, it is called Siddha Pranali Mantra. Siddha Pranali Mantra means they will reveal your so-called revelation. They will tell what you are in the spiritual world, something like that. So this disciple, he went to one of the babajis in Vrindavan, and then he found that, his spiritual body in the spiritual world is a peacock. So he came back to the ashram, and then for every 2 minutes or 3 minutes, he will put his neck like this, as if he's a peacock. Then after some time, the devotees in the ashram, they are telling, "Arey, what are you doing? What is this neck movement like that? Is it okay? All the health is." So they said to Prabhupada. Prabhupada asked, "Why are you doing?" Prabhupada, I came to know that my spiritual deha is a peacock in the spiritual world. Then Prabhupada said, "Arey, these Babajis, when they pass urine, they don't wash their legs only. They are not even on the platform of a Brahmana, and you think that they'll be able to reveal your spiritual identity. It's all bogus. It's all, trash." So, Prabhupada tells that, see, even on the platform of Raga, one actually may get some revelation about this thing, about his spiritual, but still that is all internal. He will never reveal. his this thing to the outside. Externally he follow all the rules and regulations properly, but internally he may be, so much of attachment that he develops to hear such kind of pastimes where his spiritual deha is this one and all in sync. So that's how. So that is why Rupa Goswami, it's so amazing that the acharyas, they have given crystal clear instructions that one should never be bewildered how a siddha will look like. Rupa Goswami, he has told different lists of symptoms of a siddha, of a fully realized soul. What is that? Avyartha kalatvam, namagane sadaruchi. All these, there are so many things are there. So one cannot cheat anyone that I am a self-realized soul. No, it's all there in the scriptures, and that is why we should really bow down to acharyas, gurus every day, and should express our gratitude, because otherwise this world is filled with so much of concocted things that anything you say, they'll just believe it and all. So in that way, we are very fortunate to have come in contacted with Prabhupada's purports and all the Acharya's commentary and all. So, so coming back to this thing, that so here again the same thing. So we are so here Jadabharata was telling to Rahugana that see, although you may say that I am skinny or something, but I am not of any of this. Why? Because I am not on the bodily platform only. He's telling that all this fatness, thinness, bodily, mental distress, as soon as somebody thinks of this body, he has to experience all these things. Like one time, one Mataji, she came to the Iskon temple, and she was and this verse, the regarding the body and the soul, that verse was being discussed in that class. And at the end of the class, she was so happy, and and the speaker, he was asking her, why are you so happy? That she was telling that all, actually she's a very fat lady, so she's telling that all through the life I was so in a misery because I was very fat, I'm not able to reduce. Now I am so peaceful that I am not this body. So he was, just by knowing this knowledge, one can get a lot of relief actually, like that. So so here it is told that what is that? As soon as somebody turns away from Krishna, there is a shloka that Krishna Vimukha. So that shloka tells, as soon as somebody turns away from Krishna, then all the things that are immediately, there are five things are there, right? We were discussing. First is ignorance. Okay. What is that? Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. These are the five things happens if somebody turns away from Krishna. Janasya Krishna Dvimukhasya Daivat Adharmasilasya Sudukkitasya. So like that, so they become so much miserable as soon as they turn away from Krishna, because these things develop. What is that? Avidya means ignorance. He immediately forgets that he is not the spirit, he is the spirit soul servant of Krishna. So as soon as he forgets that he is not the servant of Krishna, then immediately he identifies with the body. Correct? That is what is called avidya. Asmita means he thinks that I am the body, I am Indian, I am American, black, white, and all these things. He immediately thinks like that. Okay. And then what happens? Raga. Because I am this body, all the things that are that are related to this body are mine, because that attachment comes. And then what happens? Okay, these things are mine, then the other things are somebody else, then I will envy them. Dvesha. He develops the dvesha for others also. Okay. So avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, and final one is Abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means complete absorption in this cycle, that he's day in and day out, he's actually hatching, and he's actually working so hard in order to accumulate more, in order to envy others, in order to snatch more, in order to all these things. He keeps on doing it. Why? Because he's completely absorbed. Abhinivesha. So this is what happens. Correct. So Why this happens? Because he has turned away from Krishna. Janasya Krishna vimukhasya daiva. So that happened. So now here in the purport, Prabhupada was telling how to come out of this bodily consciousness, because we all have so much of experience, correct? So this bodily consciousness is very much like an integral part, like that. So Prabhupada gives the solution for this. What is that? Narottam Das Thakur has sung Deha Smriti Nahi Yara Samsara Bandhana Kahatara. One who is spiritually advanced has no connection with the body or with the bodily actions and reaction. So now this is what is called. So the more one becomes spiritually advanced, then he will be able to come out of the bodily consciousness. It is like Param Drishtva Nivartate. This example we were hearing also, that see, the problems of the body will not go away anywhere, but the consciousness of the person is goes to so high that he doesn't see them as a problem only. Just like somebody who is actually standing at the ground floor and watching a 110-story building, for him it may look so big because he's in the ground floor. But if the same person is going in an aeroplane and saw that same building with the same building, it looks like a very small one. The size of the building does not change. Only thing changed is his altitude. So altitude. So similarly, if the consciousness is not very high, we take everything very very small things also. Arey, why he is not looking at me? Why he is not telling me Prabhu? Why he is not doing all these things? Arey, probably something would be there. All these things so much. Arey, I came to the temple and he's not even looking at me only. So all these things are so much bothering to the mind and things like that. Then because the bodily, so much of bodily consciousness is there. So so no, the moment one grows in spiritual consciousness, then he thinks that no problem, I am anyway the servant of the servant, so it doesn't matter whether he looks or not, but whenever he calls I will go and then do some service, whatever. So he will really come to that conclusion, obviously, that I am not so important. Here Krishna is standing there, who is the pivot of the entire universe. So why anybody has to look at me? Something like that. So he will anyway will be in that different consciousness. So that is why one, the solution is one has to become advanced. There is no material solution for this problem at all. There is Prahlad Maharaj says, right, whatever the material solution that you do for the material problems, that is not, that is going to create another bigger problem only, like that, right? So here he tells that when one comes to understand that he is not the body and therefore is neither fat, skinny, one attains the topmost form of spiritual realization. Why? Because he when so one actually comes to this platform that actually this body, it is just a given, it's just a machine given to me, so that will be used in Lord's service. That is how, he will eventually he has to kind of detach from the bodily activity. So that's what, so I was hearing that, because we have been engaged so much in the bodily consciousness, it becomes the second nature immediately, when we will have that thing. But if we can train slowly, Shani Shani Uparmite, Krishna tells, right? So gradually, if somebody is trying to, trying to engage in spiritual life and all these things, then eventually one will come to that. So that is why it is so wonderful. Although some may say that Prabhupada, is giving the, basic thing, but actually Prabhupada gives the entire package in such a great way that we have heard this statement: the head is in the clouds, the feet on the ground. This is perfectly suitable for Prabhupada, because he gives this thing the utmost ultimate perfection. He gives it, and we all every day we sing Tulsi Arti, Muraiya Vilas Kunja Diova. So that is the goal that is fixed, obviously. But when it comes to the feet on the ground, he has given a very complete structure: A, B, C, D, E. He has given association of devotees, books he has given, process of chanting he has given, deity worship, diet he has given, engagement in services. So he has given the complete practical solution eventually to come to that platform. So somebody may say that, no, you people, you're not giving any advanced stuff. No, The Tulsi Arti itself is a very advanced stuff somebody is desiring for. Like that, you can see all the prayers, Sikshastakam prayers, all the other prayers, they were all ultimately aiming to the top thing. But when it comes to practical things, obviously very, very practical, what to be done, what not to be done. So Prabhupada, gives that thing how to gradually come out of this thing, the bodily concept, because it's so deep rooted. It requires a persistent, consistent, enthusiastic endeavor actually to come. And obviously, after doing all these things, one should beg for mercy from Krishna and Guru and all the Vaishnavas. Then only that thing will happen. So that sparrow story we all know. The sparrow who would like to, who want to dry up the ocean, it has put all of its efforts. Why? Because it they wanted to attract Garuda's mercy. When Garuda gives the mercy, then eventually it happens like that. So similarly, Krishna tells it is very difficult. What is that? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha. By constant practice and detachment, one will come out of this thing. So that is what it is. So no one can be happy in a civilization conducted by such animals. Our Krishna conscious movement is trying to raise fallen human society to the status of the spiritual understanding. So this, in one of the other shlokas, also Prabhupada tells that what is that? Janasya, no, Tadvag Visargo Janathaga Viplavo Yasmin Pratishlokam Abadhavadyapi. Actually, this the movement of Krishna consciousness should revolutionize the impious lifestyles of the human of the people of the world. Prabhupada writes that. See, this is people are so engrossed in this thing. So this strong dosage is required in order to shake them up and then take them to the Krishna consciousness movement. So this movement is one such movement. So it is not like any passive movement where nothing is happening. It's always very dynamic movement. Things are happening and things are moving always. So here Prabhupada tells that this is the solution to come out of that. What is that? The solution we all know, we all recite every day. What is that? So I come to this one. This is the two shlokas before that. So it is told, O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. Actually, this is what, when one develops the taste for hearing the message of Vasudeva, then there is a cycle that, one chants the holy name of Krishna, and what happens? He'll get the association of devotees with that, and in the association, he hears more and he develops more attachment with. Actually, he serves the Vaishnavas. He see, he once chants the holy names and he gets the association. In the association, he hears the message, and in order for the message to go from head to heart, he has to serve the Vaishnavas. When he serves the Vaishnavas, he will get the taste for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. When he gets the taste for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, then when he comes back to chanting, it will be with more affection he does the chanting. And when he does more affectionate chanting, again he'll get more association, again he hears more. So this is the cycle actually. With the chanting, one gets association. When one serves the association nicely and hears in the association, he gets the taste to the hearing the message of Vasudeva. From that, he develops the great attachment to Krishna. With that, when he chants the holy names, again he'll be. So this is a great cycle, and it's actually a very joyful cycle also. So that is why it's called Sukham Kartum Avyayam. This process is actually very, very joyful. Why? Because it's very easy only. Somebody is asking that, and one of the devotees is asking that, it's actually, it appears that there is so much of regulation is there in this bhakti. I thought that it's very easy and joyful and all. No, actually, if you compare all the other yugas process, this is so very easy process given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is so joyful. You dance so nicely when chants the holy names, and Joyce dance so nicely when you are fatigued, then take some nice Krishna prasadam, and then again dance. So it is actually, what is it? Chanting, dancing, and feasting. So one time disciples were asking Prabhupada. Prabhupada was telling in the class, our moment is a chanting, dancing, and feasting moment, like that. So disciples, they were little, no, they said that, Prabhupada, uh, I think we are doing so many other things also, right? We are struggling so hard. We are going to the outside and distributing the book. We are doing so many other things. We are rising early in the morning, all these things. But Prabhupada said, no, our moment is chanting, dancing, and feasting. That's it. Then after so many back and forth conversation, the disciples finally accepted that our moment is a chanting, dancing, and feasting moment. Why? Because whatever the all the other things that we are doing is actually to prepare the consciousness to do the chanting again. That is why Prabhupada says that 99% of our advancement depends on the chanting only. Why? Because all the other things in a day, whatever somebody does, it's all is to prepare that consciousness for the 2 hours when somebody meets Krishna in the chanting of the holy names. Correct? So that is why a moment is chanting, dancing, and feasting. Prabhupada was telling, then everybody were completely, because this is an acharya who is convinced of this fact, and who is actually out of his great mercy is actually, convincing us through his purports. That's what Bhagavatam tells. The great souls, they have a pot on their top, so it's a nectar pot, and it is dripping when they open their mouth. Whatever is coming is actually a nectar. So when somebody hears it properly, then one gets the affinity for that message. And then what happens when somebody gets that affinity for the message? You can see in the next sloka, it tells that the personality of Godhead, who is Paramatma in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee. Truthful devotee means what? He is actually very simple. That, there is no duplicity. He, whatever he's inside, he's outside. Correct. So that is the truthful devotee. Is actually very, this what is that much? Surut Satam. Satam. So yeah, Satam is the truthful word. Correct. Now, so many places we heard. So when the devotee becomes really honest and truthful, then actually the super soul starts giving the guidance properly. Then cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear messages. So if somebody develops this urge, that I want to hear more and more, then what happens? Krishna does the work. He does the cleansing of the heart, which is filled with so much of dust and so much of all the garbage accumulated from millions of lifetimes. Krishna actually cleanses the heart. So provided one should not keep more garbage again in the heart, because it is actually an offense. Because somebody is clean. See, if somebody says, some maid comes and then she's cleaning the house, and in front of her you throw a lot of garbage, it is not very good, right? Because it is very offensive basically. So here actually Krishna, who is so mercifully, has taken that responsibility of cleansing the heart. Correct. So then we should not put more and more garbage and all. That's what. So which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So in Kali Yuga, no, there is not. It's not required that somebody is going to give lot of Ashwamedha yajna, all the yajna, this dana, this tapa. Not required. Just sit and hear about Bhagavatam. You develop all the good qualities of the demigods, all the good qualities, all the virtues automatically comes just because of this simple and very joyful process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, what happens when Lord starts cleansing the heart? Then, this is the shloka that's referred in that. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu, that all the abhadras in the heart, all the doubts, all the other things, they all will be completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. It is so much coming out that it's actually it becomes a second nature. The person who was having so much of bodily consciousness, which was a second nature, now what is his second nature? Uh, to do more service to Lord, to praise more about Lord and devotees. This becomes a second nature. Why? Because the heart is cleansed by the process of hearing and chanting. Correct. So that is why you can see some devotees who are like They are already doing a lot of services, but they are so expert. No matter how many services they took, they are able to manage time and things like that. How? Because they are crystal clear in their priorities. How that is coming? Because of the intelligence given by Paramatma. Because they are crystal clear in their checklist and priorities, that what to be done when and all these things. Although you give him so much of service, also they are somehow able to make it. Why? Because their heart is pure. They are able to manage so many other things because they have understood the thing. So now coming to the next other two shlokas. Yeah, this one. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effect of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. This is like if as soon as the sun rises, all the fog and everything is taken away, right? So in the Bhagavatam also there is shloka that tells that Vikriditam Vrajavadhor Viridam cha Vishnor Shraddhanvita Anushrunaya Tavarna Heta Bhaktim Param Bhagavatam Pratilabhya Kama Hrudrogama Shwapahnoti Achirena Dhira. Bhagavatam also tells that Vikriditam Vrajavadhor Viridam cha Vishnu, the transcendental pastimes of the Vrajavadhu, the gopis, with Vishnu. Where is Vishnu? Because the same Krishna is the Supreme Lord Vishnu. That is why this sloka mentions Vishnu purposefully. That don't think that the person who is dancing with the gopis is like a normal, some common person who is dancing with the girlfriends. No, he is Sakshat Supreme Lord Vishnu who is actually dancing with the gopis. So what happens if somebody here Shraddhanvita Anusrunaya Atavarna Heta? Anusrunaya means what? Hearing in the parampara, not like whimsically. He has to hear from the parampara. When he hears it, what happens? With great shraddha, shraddhanvita hanusrunuya atavarnaheta. And then he is describing it to others also. He is not only hearing, and he is describing to others also. Then what happens is bhaktim param bhagavatam, the heart, in his heart bhakti devi will arise. And what happens as soon as bhakti devi arises? Bhaktin param bhagavatam pratilabhya kama. The greatest enemy of the any person is lust. So that lust will be removed, as soon as the bhakti arises in the heart. Bhaktim param bhagavatam pratilabhya kama hrudroga, because this is a disease of the heart. Hrudrogam ashu apahanoti. Ashu means very soon. Apahanoti achirena dhira. Very soon he'll become a dhira. Just because hearing about the transcendental pastimes between gopis and Krishna in the parampara with great faith. So this is the same thing. As soon as the here it's told, as soon as the loving service is established in the heart, then immediately the lower modes like tamo guna, rajo guna, lust and hankering, everything disappears automatically. It is like driving away them, towards like that. Then the devotee is established in goodness, and he becomes automatically happy. He becomes so joyful that this one, thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge. You see, this word scientific means what? He is so scientifically convinced that Krishna is the one who is doing everything. I am not one, nor anyone also actually. He is completely convinced that for everything behind there is Krishna's hand is there. He is completely convinced. That is why Prabhupada calls this is called the science of devotional service. Why? Because this is the reason. When somebody comes to this, he understands that there is nothing beyond Krishna. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Bahunam Janmanamante Gyanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Yeah. So that is, and then personally, eventually he is going to associate with the Supreme Lord. So this is what happens to come out of the bodily consciousness. This is what to be done. Correct. So we need to hear more and more. We need to contemplate on that. Dhyanam, mananam. There are different stages where one should contemplate again and again. Shankaracharya tells also again, varam varam vichintya. He tells that again and again and again and again and again. One needs to remember this fact that I am the spirit soul, servant of the servant of the Lord. My only occupation is to serve the Lord and the Vaishnava. If somebody is again and again and again actually remembering this thing, then it is actually very much possible to come out of this bodily consciousness. Yeah. So, Prabhu, I think I will stop here. It's 8:10. So, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
bro.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, bro, for the wonderful class. You
Hare Krishna.
started with like giving the context of. Bro, you want to say something?
No, no, Prabhu. I wanted to seek prayers and blessings of all the Vaishnavas. I spoke so big, but I am not. I am struggling with my body and senses. If you all pray and bless me, so I can one day I'll try to follow whatever I spoke. Yeah, that's it. I wanted.
So maybe you can stop sharing
Yeah, I spoke. I
if
can
it is
stop.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rosie. Like just to summarize in trying to summarize in 2 minutes. So like you started with the context of the verse and giving the context, and then you mentioned that Jadavar did not open his mouth when his brothers insulted him when Dakars tried to kill him, but he opened the mouth for Rahugana because he felt that Rahugana is the king and also is an elevated person because he's going to visit the Muni. And so next is like this body is a covering, and this is the secondary nature. Like you mentioned, Krishna first instruction is Dehanosmi Neta Dehe, and this is repeated always throughout all the scriptures, like Srimad Bhagavatam, even in 10th canto also, which is Samambonam. And then difference between Gnana and Vijnana. So you have given with the example of Guru asking the disciple, some echo is Guru asking the disciples to eat the banana. So everybody ate it, but except one disciple. So this itself says that okay, he has a Vijnana also. So that's what like you mentioned. The main responsibility is like if you want Vijnana, so then how to get approach a guru. How to then you said how to identify a guru because he has to come in the parampara, and also the guru qualities we have given like is fixed in the God consciousness, convinced that Vasudeva is the root cause of everything, and is expert in conclusions of all the scriptures. And for this, convinced that Vasudeva is the root cause. So you talked about at the end how to get the scientifically convinced that was the root cause. So then one should surrender to Guru for higher purpose, not just for material things or material gains. So then you mentioned about person asking the Prabhupada about all the rivers are merged in the ocean, so they lost. I mean, they lose their identity. So Prabhupada said, "No, we are the fishes merging in the ocean, so we still retain the identity." Then you mentioned like somebody asking Radhesha Prabhu, Doordarshan Pranashyati. Where is it mentioned that we should not watch the Doordarshan? So you are given nice example, I mean nice verses. Dhyayata Vishayan Pumsa. Then how the lust from lust. I mean how the like just by contemplating we start developing lust and all these things. Then Rupa Goswami also clearly mentioned that the characters of Siddha. So we should not think anybody who is there on the road or should sit. So that is to identify. Then how you mentioned about the five ignorances, like in the order. So avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. Abhinivesha is like completely absorption because of previous things. Then if one becomes advanced spiritually, he will be free from bodily conceptions. So if the consciousness is high, these material things look insignificant. With the example of you saying, even though a big building, but if one sees from the aeroplane, so that becomes very insignificant. Similarly, whoever is whose consciousness is higher, so all these material designations and material things are insignificant. This body is given to us to use this in Krishna consciousness. So engage this body, start engaging this body gradually in the Krishna service. And he have given told that Sri Prabhupada has given the five things like A, B, C, D, E, association, book reading, chanting, daily worship, and engagement. Then there you mentioned after that you mentioned very nice persistent enthusiastic endeavor to get the mercy of Lord. So there you given the example of sparrow attracted the Garuda's mercy uh, by being persistent, and then our movement is not a passive movement, it's a very dynamic movement. And there you mentioned the virtual cycle of chanting, association, serving Vaishnavas, and then tasting hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Let me mute. Srimad Bhagavatam. And once develops a Srimad Bhagavatam, then the chanting becomes very intense. So this cycle keep continuing. And you mentioned that our movement of Krishna consciousness is very joyful. So even though it appears that like there are a lot of rules and regulations, but it is very joyful. And Sri Prabhupada is saying that like, our movement is nothing but chanting, dancing, and feasting. And 99% of our advancement depends on the chanting. And whatever we do, so that is to intensify the chanting. Then you mentioned from the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 16 and all those. So a real devotee is not duplicitous, like inside and outside are same. Then Krishna cleanses the heart of a truthful devotee. Only if devotee gets the affinity for hearing and develops good qualities of demigods and all those things. So then the Nashtapraya issue you talked about. So troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Irrevocable loving service is established by keep hearing and doing this. And also passion and ignorance, lust, desire, hankering for happiness. All these also uh, gets disappeared from the heart. So that means they will be established in the mode of goodness, becomes completely happy. Then what happens is, so then the devotee is completely scientifically convinced that Krishna is the root cause of everything. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice, wonderful
So
class.
amazingly summarized, bro. My God, Jay.
No, Prabhuji, it is for my future reference. Hareshna devotees, your lines are already muted. Sorry, unmuted. So you can unmute and ask any questions. All glories to Srila Prabhu.
Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. It looks as though Venkatramana
Thanks.
Prabhu has got a device like
Hare
how
Krishna Mataji, this is about if you have any questions, please.